This was one of those games, the moment I first saw it, I knew I had to play it, both for myself and on the channel at some point. Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Gravity Circuit. Now, if you're playing this game yourself and using me as some sort of guide on the side, I recommend playing the tutorial stage first. I'll show that off later on in the LP, but for the sake of a better intro, we're just going to go into the main first level. The tutorial actually showcases you what every control is and gets you used to the movement and all that, while the first level of the game just sort of throws you in without any of that, which is neat for pacing on repeat playthroughs, but it can definitely be a little weird. Circuit mode we'll talk about later on in the LP. You unlock that for beating the game. I'm going to be playing on normal mode just for the balance of it all. The game modifiers are interesting though. These are difficulty modifiers added in the 1.2 updates, I believe. These include things like remix level design, increased damage from hazards, beating the game in a single life, flipping the world's vertical state. They're fun to mess around with, but for this LP we're going in with the game vanilla. Many years ago, during a digging operation, a mysterious structure was unearthed. Dubbed the Ark, its purpose and origin were a mystery. But soon after its discovery, a terrible power emerged. Virus Army. An endless wave of merciless robots attacked our city. Outnumbered and unarmed, we were unable to stop their destructive march. However, we had 9 Guardians on our side, Guardian Corps. With the power of circuits, they fought the invaders. The conflict was long and devastating. In the end, only one of our Guardians remained. But much like our city, he too had sustained great damage. We've tried to repair him to show our gratitude, but even with our best efforts, he has remained offline ever since. Now, many years later, the Virus Army has re-emerged. Right now, we can only hope for a miracle. Just off the bat, this game is a platformer, but it is a Mega Man-like, but it's a very unusual one in the fact that its combat is directly, entirely melee-based, barring the occasional attack here and again. You do have some range to your grappling hook that you can use to damage enemies and pull shields off of them, which you use with the trigger button, but largely you're just doing an endless punch combo that you can also press down while in the midair to do a downward kick. You can press up and attack to try and knock things upwards, including enemies. But the big thing is, whenever you defeat an enemy, they explode for a second, but you can then grab them and use them as a projectile to throw at other enemies in order to do mass damage. Usually it's enough to at least kill a lot of the smaller enemies in one shot. The discs that some of these enemies are dropping are just like the discs from Mega Man 03. They are bio discs that we'll be able to scan down the line. I'll showcase them all throughout the LP effectively. That there is a health pickup, which is what restores that health bar in the top right. Being we have a grappling hook, though, we do actually have to use it as a grappling hook to swing across some areas here and again. The control is pretty fluid with it, but it does take some getting used to, particularly when it comes to trying to gain momentum with it to swing far, in most cases. Ah, you have my thanks, Gravity Circuit. I was close to getting scrapped there by those Virus Army ruffians. Virus Army? Where are they coming from? That I cannot tell. Perhaps if you head onward toward the Guardian Corps HQ. Maybe you can find some answers there. The HQ, huh? Guess it's worth a shot. Indeed. But before you go, can you hold still for a moment? New technique acquired. Flying strike. Manage your equipment by pressing options. That should help you with fighting the Virus Army off. Ah, many thanks, citizen. Don't mention it. Now go. I'll catch up to you later. So now below our health bar, we have our burst energy meter. By pressing the burst button, which for me, for instance, and I think by default is mapped to whatever the top button on the face buttons is, so for me it's triangle, you will use a burst technique. For instance, the flying strike is a punch that flies forward slightly, that you can use in midair to also extend your jump. Burst energy is measured with the green bars. Every burst you use uses one of those up. But this allows us to get into enemy drops. You see, enemies in this game can drop a couple things besides just the discs we saw earlier. They can drop credits, which are the things on the bottom right. It's your currency for shops and all that. But they can also drop burst energy outright. With that said, burst energy is slow to fill. You see that meter to the left of Kai's head on the top left of the HUD? Filling that up is what restores a green pip to have another burst ability ready to go. Just killing enemies to restore that takes a while, but there are larger pickups just located in the stage layout or through the boxes that we've seen throughout that can also drop money. That right there, by the way, was a checkpoint. When you die, you respawn at one of those, but you may have noticed I could hold up on it. That charges that up so that it can also restore your burst energy, because when you respawn from a death, you only get your health back, which can be kind of limiting, especially if you're having trouble with a platforming section. So it's a thing of, do you want to spend your valuable currency you're getting from enemies on helping yourself through the stage, or to save it for shops to buy actual upgrades down the line? On a first playthrough, I'd still say you get enough money to be comfortable to buy a lot of things, but still be careful about dying at the same place over and over again, because the more you power up checkpoints within a level, the more expensive they actually get as you go through. The burst attacks, though, are incredibly powerful. Most of them can take out most small enemies in a single shot. But you have to keep in mind which ones you yourself might like, because we're going to have a full-ass list of them. Some of them have better platforming utility, some of them have better combat utility for boss fights, some are better for crowd control. I tend to prefer mixing up the boss fight ones and the platforming utility ones myself, just because that's how I like to play this type of game. But you do have to keep in mind there is sort of a combo system in the game we'll talk about in a moment.
Oh, look. What do we have here? Looks like everyone's favorite hero has awakened.
Cable, is that you? What's going on?
Oh, you still remember your former comrades, huh?
Former? Wait, what are you saying?
I don't have time for this. I'll let them wrap things up here.
Boss fight of the intro stage is the Wrecker Tank. This thing's got a surprising amount of attacks for an intro boss. It can just fire several shots that'll track onto you from its mouth. It can charge the beam cannon on the bottom of it to do a gigantic beam that can be avoided as long as you're higher up on the screen. It can throw its chain ball arms at you, which homes in on your location, but it's pretty slow, so it's easy to get around. It can hover off the ground and fly towards you, going off screen. But it can also, if you're on the floor, just straight up try to dash at you. Bosses in this game each have 2 full health bars, but as you can see, you can tear through boss health extraordinarily quickly in this game due to how the combat works. And that's the intro stage done. It's pretty straightforward. Gravity circuit, over here. Whenever you finish a stage in this game, you're actually ranked depending on how much of the mission you did, your clear time, the enemies you've killed, and the damage you took compared to pars, and you get extra money depending on how well you did compared to those pars. You get the best by just beating the par to begin with, but if you do worse than it, it does continuously give you worse and worse rewards. Oh, it is so good to see you up and about, Gravity Circuit. Without your help, we surely would have been done for. And you are... Ah, where are my manners? I'm Colonel, the commander of Guardian Corps. What's left of it, anyway. I see. But if this is Guardian Corps HQ, why was Cable out to get you? I wish I could tell you. After the first conflict with Virus Army, we only managed to recover your body. So we assumed the other circuits had gone, well, offline. But now, with power circuits showing up at our door like this, it shakes my servos to the core. The Virus Army. How long has it been? I'm afraid it's been many, many years, decades since the virus army first appeared by my count. Your memory banks haven't gone cold, have they? Ah, that's unfortunate. I was hoping you could perhaps shed some light on the situation, but I guess we'll have to do some digging ourselves. I will check in with our operators and see what we can find out. In the meantime, feel free to explore the base. It isn't what it used to be, but I hope you can find some comfort in it. When you're ready, see me in Mission Command upstairs. Welcome to our main hub. Instead of just being a straight-up stage select, we actually have a Mega Man Zero-styled home base.
Oh, it's gotten so awfully quiet in here. The HQ used to be bustling with a lot of activity, but I guess the virus army made everyone take cover and hide. I hope nobody has gotten hurt.
Oh, unavoidably so.
Interesting. So what makes that mechanism tick is... Oh, beg my pardon. I didn't notice you coming in. Hold on a moment, though. I don't think I recognize you. Who might you be? My databanks have been a fair bit unordered lately, so give me a moment here. Red Nord chest, perhaps made of titanium, lightweight belt, freezing maneuverability, square shoulder pads, orts exhaust streams, gauntlets of bright gems, seemingly for emitting bursts of energy, three-pronged emblem, creating a menacing look, seems to have been kept in pristine condition. These characteristics match those of... Ah! You must be Kai, the gravity circuit.
Right, you've done your homework. But what is this place, a research unit?
Oh, yes. The Guardian Corps' data archive, in fact. When the virus army attacked years ago, many of our records were destroyed. So I've been piecing together whatever little still remains.
I don't see any computers. How are you recording your findings?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. We're using my latest innovation, books!
Books?
Yes, books. They don't require power and are just nice to hold. Even if it takes a little moment to find the passages I need from these pages. A small price to pay. Archiving everything is what matters. In fact, if you happen to find any data chips lying around, bring them to me. With a bit of effort, we can analyze their contents and add them to our records.
I'll see what I can do.
Much appreciated, Gravity Circuit. Ah, it's you. Here's what we know so far.
This is where those data disks the enemies were dropping comes into play. You can spend some of the credits you find in the stage to unlock little one-sentence bios of them. It's very much almost directly the secret discs from Mega Man 03. There are 3 categories: standard enemies, boss fights, and characters, and the character ones are usually the hardest ones to find because they sometimes require a little task.
Ah, our honored patient's awake, is he? That's a relief, and just in time, too. Although you did need to break our healing chamber to get out of here, I'm sure.
And who might you be, Miss...
Oh, no need for formalities, silly. I'm just a plain old nurse spot helping here in the med bay. Just wanted to stop you so I could give you this.
New chip acquired, energy absorber. Ah, much appreciated, miss.
Don't mention it. Should you need more of these, come see us. While repairing bots is our primary duty, we also research various chips. These chips range from passive bonuses to even giving you new abilities. We'd be honored to make more of them for our dear hero, but we would like to ask for your help in return.
All right, what can I do for you?
What you heroes do best, of course, rescuing civilians. In all this ensuing chaos, there are many, many civilians in need of help. Just thinking about them getting hurt, it angers me so. Should you come across any, please send them over here to the HQ where it's safe. For each heroic rescue, we will give you a rescue token. You can then use these tokens to research new chips. For a small fee, of course.
Right, I'll see what I can do.
Many thanks, our sneaky little patient.
Indeed, over here is the med bay, and there's the capsule we apparently broke out of, but we'll talk more about the chip system next part, I'd say. Salutations, Gravity Circuit. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but our radars are picking up virus army activity all around us. Fortunately, the activity around the HQ is low, thanks to you, but they're targeting some key areas, crippling our resources. We, or the city for that matter, won't last long if this keeps up. When Virus Army first appeared, they seemed chaotic and unorganized. How are they so well coordinated this time? The answer should be pretty obvious, don't you think? They're following the commands of those rebelling circuits. Who are you? Pardon my intrusion. I'm Nega. Just a humble traveling bot. Very well, but what was that you said? The Virus Army's taking orders from the rebel circuits? Indeed. These rebel circuits intend to strong-arm full control over the city. Or destroy it entirely, whichever happens first. Oh, we are doomed, aren't we? You, gravity circuits. What about you? What will you do? I'll go after them. I don't understand why they're doing this, but they must be stopped. That's a good answer. However, are you ready to do what it takes? I don't know, but I must give it a shot. Very well. Should you need any help honing your skills, feel free to seek me out. I can teach you an extra trick or two for a price. Now, if you'll excuse me. Oh, thank you for siding with us, Gravity Circuits. You have my eternal gratitude. Just call me Kai. Alright, Kai it is. Meanwhile, it seems like our operators have finished their analysis. Multiple circuit signals have been picked up supporting Nega's claim. As much as I hate to say it, the others really have become rebel circuits. At this point, it's safe to assume they won't cooperate with us. So, unfortunately, you most likely will have to take them out. I know. I'll do everything I can to protect the city. Thank you, Kai. Here are the mission locations with suspected rebel circuit activity. And thus, here's our standard stage select. You can access any of the 8 rebel circuits in any order you want, and they also provide some pretty important information on this stage select, but I'll talk more about that down the line. You can also access the intro stage, in the case you ever want to go back there for some reason. There's not really much of a reason to overall, though.
Nice meeting you here, Gravity Circuit. You're looking fine, mostly scratch-free. Little sloppy, but I see you're trying your best, like your heroes do.
Right. Nice to meet you, miss.
Simple Prim will do, thank you. I'm a painter bot, trying my best to give these drab places some color. Or that's what I would like to do, anyway. I was out painting near the power plant before the virus army showed up. While I'm no stranger to putting weird subjects on canvases, I prefer to keep my oils within my body rather than use them as paint. I'd leave my latest work behind and slowly make my way back here to safety. What a sorry state of affairs, but... What was I painting? Surely you wonder?
I guess?
With all the arc electricity and the generators buzzing around me, inspiration struck, and I just knew what to paint. A high voltage warning sign, of course. Picked one heck of a time to paint it, seeing that the power circuit showed up. Then again, I suppose that painting works as a warning. The power circuit did always want to be left alone, after all.
Right. That's unfortunate, isn't it?
Oh, you have got that right. If you clear the area, maybe I can go back and retrieve my work.
Right.
But never mind that. While we're here, perhaps you'd fancy a new coat of paint? Can't imagine you going completely scratch-free through all that hero business. While that red suits you, trying different looks wouldn't hurt. Not only that, striking colors also have the wonderful power to inspire new abilities. But of course, there's a catch.
Alright, and what might that be?
Oh, I'm desperately in need of some new ideas. Painting nothing but warning signs in hallways for all these years, it doesn't do wonders to one's creativity. So, perhaps if you could find me some palette chips, that'd be wonderful. They're tucked away all over the city, in places I can't reach. But surely someone with abilities like yours can seek them out.
Alright, I'll see what I can do.
Wonderful. Don't make me wait too long, Gravity Circuit.
So, palette chips are another collectible we'll have to look out for. Ah, it's you. Got any bits for my knowledge? Nega's purpose in the hub is to be a burst technique shop. They only give you the flying strike to start, but you can buy these 3 other ones right now, and for every single boss fight we beat moving forward, another 2 will be added to the shop to buy with credits outright. And what's really cool about the burst technique thing is that since you can completely customize where they go, you can really fit this to your style. You can map 1 to neutral, 1 to holding left and right, 1 to holding up, and 1 to holding down, so you can have 4 total ready to go.
Welcome, welcome. Want to take a look at our stock?
Meanwhile, we need rescue tokens to buy the enhancement chips here at the med bay, but these range from things like making you take less damage, increasing the speed or range of your physical attacks, giving you a double jump. Incredible stuff, really. Back in your feet, Gravity Circuit. I hear they'll be sent out to fight the rebel circuits. I would like to make a little request. There's still a fair few bots out there, all in need of a rescue. Should you come across any of them, send them over to this ragtag base we have here. My assistant and I should be able to take care of them, even with our lacking equipment. You might notice there's a chip over there. We can't get that until we rescue all of the bots. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 2, we're going to go after our first Rebel circuit. See you guys then.